Call us, email us, tweet, or Facebook us. 3 little words, Two-Way Television.
No guest we've had on has ever been as controversial here as Pastor Joel Osteen. Too many think he's just too focused on being thankful, happy, and prosperous. He stopped by our office recently, and I put those questions to him in our search for the importance of thankfulness. The other big criticism is that you are a prosperity preacher. How do you respond to that?
Well, I never liked that term because I don't talk about money in my messages, and to me, when I hear that term, it's it's somebody that's trying to get all your money, and I don't do that. I don't believe in that. I do think that I get put in that category sometimes because I believe God wants you to be blessed and to excel in your career and to have money to send your kids to college and things like that. That we're not supposed to live a defeated, depressed life. But I don't like that term, but I don't feel like that's what I'm doing. To me, prosperity is peace in your mind, having joy in your spirit, having healthy children, laying down at night and being able to sleep well. To me, there's nothing more prosperous about that. So that's what I believe it is.
Thanksgiving weekend, people who don't bother with the church, they would still say, thank your lucky stars or thank goodness. Do you think we're hardwired to give thanks?
I think that it seems like we are. I've never thought of it like that, but most of the people I deal with, they realize that there's a spirit of gratitude on the inside, and so I think it's important. And I think too, being grateful, Lorna, it helps you. It's hard to be unhappy when you're grateful. I always, probably in every one of my messages or somewhere in our meetings, I talk about, don't look at what's wrong today. Thank God for what's right. Don't look at what you don't have. Thank God for what you do have. Just simple things. And I think when you can get that frame of mind, live your life like that, it makes every day go better.
So what would you say are some of the greatest problems facing the world today?
Well, that's a big question. There's a lot of them. I think, I was watching some of the news earlier, just the conflict, the people starving, the people being pushed out of their country. I mean, that's a hard thing in the day and time we live in. To think about we're over here and we're all healthy and got plenty, but to know that there's kids that aren't making it like they should be. So I think that's a big thing, and there's plenty of others.
You use the media so powerfully for this message of peace. Are you seeing things in the media or things in our culture that if you were a preacher who warned, you would warn us about?
Well, I guess, Lorna, I don't really, my message is so much encouragement, I don't really think about that. I'm sure if I thought about it, there probably would be some things, but my message...
You never have a day where you go out on the bike and say, if people just stop doing X.
Yeah, I don't have many days like that. I really don't. I really don't. I think, and I live very, very simply. I just, I trust and believe and try to stay focused in my lane.
I mentioned the bike because you do exercise passionately. You're 50 years old.
Yeah.
Tell us about holding it all together. How you live the personal side of your life with Victoria and the children.
Well, a lot of it, so much of it is about priorities, and there's always a million things to do, but we've made a decision early on that we're going to take time for each other and take time for our family. I feel like that I'm better on the weekends when I minister if I've taken time during the week to exercise, to have the right amount of recreation, and still work hard, but that's a big part of it to me. In our home, there's a lot of laughter. We still have a lot of fun. It seems like what I've seen in life as you get older, it's easy to lose joy, lose enthusiasm, to let the pressures of life weigh you down. And so we've tried to do our best, and I try to teach this too, is you gotta, see every day as a gift, and you gotta keep that laughter and keep the enthusiasm for life, because, stress is always gonna be there, but I feel like that we've, done good at just, keeping it together and keeping it balanced.
So how do you then trace this gene of thankfulness, or this mission of thankfulness? How does that connect to God?
Well, I think God puts something in us that causes us to want to be thankful. I think most people realize that there's more to life than just ourselves. There's a longing there, and so I think It helps us to connect back to our Creator. Some people may not call that God, but I believe it is.
You've tackled some of these ideas in a new book called Breakout. Tell us about it.
Well, I wrote it, Lorna, because a lot of people get stuck, you know, and feel like you've reached your limits. And I really believe the first place we have to break out is in our own thinking. And so I talk about how, you know, you can't have these thoughts, these self-imposed limitations about, you know what, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections, I don't come from the right family. Anything. So often there's things that we're limiting God from what He can do in our own lives.
Not many preachers have broken out, done a breakout like you're going to do in these stadiums around the country. It's one thing to do it in Houston where you get 43,000 together in your church, which was a stadium at one time. What are you doing that's attracting people to fill the Air Canada Centre? There's not another preacher that can do that.
I don't know what I'm doing, really, but you know, I think, I don't know. I feel very blessed, and I don't know if I have a good answer. I think, you know, part of it, I mean, other people do this too, but our message is positive and hopeful, and I'm, you know, trying to lift people's spirits, and somehow God's given me the ability to connect with people.
Was it scary to say, let's start booking 12 stadiums around the world?
It was. It was really scary. We didn't know, we booked 3, and we didn't know what size to book. I didn't know if I should get a 1,000-seat arena or what we should get, and we decided to do a basketball arena in Atlanta, and it held 20,000. I thought, well, we can turn out the lights and just do the floor if we need to. But you know, the crazy thing is, that was in 2004. You know, the place was filled, and they turned thousands of people away, and I don't know. That's where it just hit me. I thought, wow, this is bigger than I ever dreamed of. Never thought I'd be doing this, and so that's why I stand amazed too.
Do you think the church has too many sour corners?
What does that mean? I don't know what it means.
I have no trouble coming up with negative words. But the church has been known often for judgmentalism rather than acceptance. We have you shall nots.
Yeah. I agree. I believe that. I believe that's what's pushed a lot of people away, that they don't want to be preached down to. They got enough in life pushing them down. And so I'm just a big believer, you know, my net is really, really broad. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to try to pull you in or try to be good to you. But I think that's important. I think that's what helps us grow.
Let's close this with thankfulness again. And I'm wondering what you personally are thankful for. When Joel lays his head down at night, aside from your great head of hair, what are you thankful for?
You know, I have so much to be thankful for, but I always thank God just for my beautiful family. Thank God I start every day thanking Him for breath to breathe, thank Him for the gift of that day, and just, you know, I feel blessed. I've got great people in my life. I've got my health, and live in a great country, so I take the first half hour of almost every day just thinking of things I can be grateful for, starting it off like that. Maybe not the whole half hour, but my point being is just, you know, just living in that attitude of gratefulness, I think is so important. I always say this, you know, seeds of unhappiness can't take place in a grateful heart. If I ever get up feeling the blahs, you know, like I was talking about, don't want to go to work, I just come back and think, Lord, thank you that my children are healthy. Thank you that I live in a great country. Thank you that my arms work. Just simple things.
When we come back, 2 qualities to help you be thankful. My advice on that coming up.
We want you to be a part of our studio audience. If you're in the Toronto area, contact us. One of these seats has your name on it.
I've been around the block a few times on the biblical command to be thankful. Is it simplistic? Is it possible? The follower of Jesus is instructed that you not limit your thankfulness to what's around you that you may naturally appreciate. We're told to rejoice in God. What an abstract idea. So I do 2 things on this quest to be thankful. I make it a choice of sight and sound. You must have both, sight and sound. Your sight is set on giving yourself a focus of the unseen God. You imagine, you think on God, not just on the circumstance or person. God, help me see you here. That's a prayer I often mumble. Then sound. Audibly expressing thanks is huge. Sing "Thank You, God" in the shower and you'll come out different. I've put more on this on my blog this week, some tips on how to get your mouth speaking thankfulness. I'm convinced that speaking, shouting, singing your thanks to God audibly in a way that you can hear it come out of your mouth is a game changer. Read some pointers on how at my blog. So, send us your feedback on today's program. You can call the viewer feedback line or put a message via email, Facebook, Twitter, and phone. We love to know your thoughts. For all of us, I'm Lorna Dueck. Thank you for watching. Join us next week as we explore life beyond the headlines.